views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody, welcome. I want to welcome you to the Dr. Pat Show. Welcome you to Transformation Talk Radio. Welcome you to the rest of your life right here. You heard it here today. Benny, we got a great lineup going on here today.
Certainly do. Yep.
I know it. I know. We're going to start with a little bit of tarot. What do you think of that?
Oh, I'm down.
Hey, do you remember the first time that I did my first show? Like, I don't know, what was it, about 12 years ago?
Yeah, about that.
And it was about 12 years, and I had somebody that I was interviewing. I can't remember who it was, and it was my first time being introduced. And remember, I don't know if you can remember this, but I remember it was like yesterday. It was like, yeah, welcome everybody, and we're going to talk about tarot today. Yeah, we're going to be like carrot, and I'm like, uh-oh. I don't think that was it.
No, we've learned a few things since then, I believe. Yes.
I was going to say, we've come a long way, baby. And for those of you out there, I just want to make sure you know that we are opening up the phone lines because this is going to be a live call-in reading show. And in a minute, you're going to hear why. But let me introduce you to the folks that are joining me here today. Monte, Farber, and Amy Zerner are my very special guests. They're also co-authors of the book, Your Complete Guide to Reading the Cards Instant Tarot. Some people say tarot. Some people say tarot. I'm just pretty happy that I'm not calling it tarot anymore. But this is what I want to say about these amazing individuals. You know, they have been helping individuals, people like you, like me, understand what it is in our lives, how to get in touch with things that happen in the outer world, but also things that happen inside of us. And, you know, they have best-selling books. I can't even begin to tell you how many they have out there, but they all are about connecting us to that which we sometimes cannot see, but are about the spiritual encounters we have in our worlds every day, ordinary and extraordinary. Today, I'm introducing Instant Tarot to everyone out there. We're going to talk about the book. We're going to talk about tarot, but we're also going to talk about, you know, what do we do when we understand what oracles can help us with? You know, how can we use this magical, mystical approach to get answers to a time right now that is really kind of, as my friends Laura Richard like to say, on the verge. Monte, Amy, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Pat. We love being here.
Thank you for that wonderful description of what we do and what we all need to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, don't you think it's pretty funny that when I first started this, I first started to do radio about 14 years ago, and it really wasn't on my radar to talk about holistic spiritual living. I mean, that happened to me because I got really, really sick, and that is what I was led to do.
That's what happens, right? There's a crisis, and we reach out.
Amy, let's talk about that. You know, there are people today that are looking at their lives, and some people are not looking at the world and saying we're in a crisis, but yet there's a level of unsettling inside. How does tarot help us with that?
Well, we know it all starts inside, and we have to make our own lives peaceful and calm and to become more aware, and then that spreads out to help the world become more peaceful. So doing the tarot is really a ritual that helps you tune in to your intuition, to help you make better decisions, to help you gain perspective on what's going on in your life, to help you understand other people, to help you understand the moment and the energies that are going on. I mean, it's such a helpful spiritual tool, and the more you do it, the stronger your intuition gets. Because if our intuition is strong, then we know what steps to take.
Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about how we go about strengthening intuition. I mean, you know, one of the things I loved about what you talk about in the book is really taking a look at who we are and how we can get a better description of ourselves that sometimes we may not see. See, I don't think we see ourselves the way the world sees us, right?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, the tarot can certainly help you do that. And in Instant Tarot, we've taken the meaning of each of the 78 cards in each of the 11 positions of what's called a Celtic cross spread. And one of the positions in that spread is how other people see you. So if you want to know how someone sees you, you just pull a card while you're thinking about that person. You look up the card you picked, and you look up the number of that position, which I think is 8. And you just read it, and it's written in that kind of a voice. Other people see you as, and then it'll describe it. The tarot is sort of like a search engine. You send out your question, it comes back, and an answer comes back, and then you got to figure out what the search engine is trying to tell you.
The Oracle at Delphi, that's so famous in ancient times, it had the inscription, "Know thyself," and that's what the tarot really helps you do. And for instance, what Monte was saying, helping you to see how other people see you, that can apply and be so helpful in situations if you have a business meeting, if you're having misunderstandings with your family, if you want your partner, if you don't understand how they're seeing you in a situation, you can reorient and help miscommunications get better.
And one of the most popular positions is the number 3 position, which is what's called the block in the Celtic cross. And so that translates into what is blocking me from attaining my goal. And you just pull a card as you're thinking that, and then you read the meaning of that card in the number 3 position, and there's your answer.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question about the timing of the book and the timing of the message. I gave a brief introduction about what the sense is that may be happening in the world. And, I hear from a lot of people on a regular basis, our listeners, the folks that follow us on Facebook and so forth. And one idea is that people are acutely engaged in the uncertainty. Another idea is people are acutely unengaged and don't want to be engaged. Mm-hmm. But in any event, it is an energy. How does tarot find its way through the maze of different energies to get to the truth?
That's a wonderful question.
You can look at it from the scientific standpoint, which is the quantum field, which is everything. Or you can look at it from the way the ancients looked at it, which is the Akashic record, which is everything. So it's just a modern way of talking about the Akashic record. And the tarot plugs you in to all that is. And the fact that you can plug into all there is, all that is, all that wisdom, is a calming influence in itself. Just the fact that the most incomprehensible thing about life is that it's comprehensible.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it takes you to a higher realm. When we're influenced by the news, the negative news, we're influenced by so much we're bombarded with in the now age. It's not just the new age, it's the now age.
It is the now age.
How do you discern what is your truth and what's in your heart and what is impacting you that is really an illusion? So to center yourself and ground yourself, that's why I call doing your tarot ritual. It's a time out, it's a meditation, it's a time to recalibrate and come back into yourself and what's real for you. I know that tarot is so misunderstood as kind of a spooky thing, but it's not. To us, it's an everyday ritual that helps you, and it's art. I've designed our own tarot deck, which is called the Enchanted Tarot. So all of life is in the tarot. It can reflect back to you truth of what is really happening around you.
You know what I'm fascinated by, and this is kind of where I like to go out and explore ideas. You know, somebody often, I remember being a young kid and being presented with the chicken and egg problem. You know, as a little kid, you know, your folks, they have these like words of wisdom, and all of a sudden they're asking you about which came first, the chicken or an egg. But here you are, you're 6 years old. And, you know, at 6 years old, you think that this is one of the greatest conundrums of our time. It's like chicken and egg, chicken and egg. But yet,
you have to say the right answer.
You got to say the right answer. And for me, I never forgot that question and how it haunted me for a long time as a kid, and how I became in search of looking for an answer. Yeah. And here's my question I'd like to ask you. What came first, the wisdom of the ancient knowledge of tarot, or the power of its intuitive guide?
I think it's an evolving process. I'm sure that since people figured out that there was a future, people have been evolving methods to try and predict it.
I mean, there are oracles in every culture.
Yes.
Of, you know, going back to throwing the bones or watching the clouds or
the birds,
the rune stones, and different. Every culture, it's the same way. Ways that have been devised to help you tune in to the future, which is really coming from yourself, your higher self.
And the tarot, the earliest tarot deck is about 1100. The Visconti Sforza deck. That's the earliest one in existence, I think, at the Morgan Library. And there's a lot of theories about where it evolved out of, whether it came from the Gypsies or from China, or whether it just started out as a card game and then people applied their own wisdom to it. I know that when I wrote the Enchanted Tarot book that comes with it, I looked at Amy's art and I saw the wisdom that was coming through her. So I know it can be done that way.
I think there's a universal wisdom where all the philosophies of all the different cultures kind of converge, which is the search for truth. And we've kind of updated our approach to the tarot to apply it to modern life, because there's so many questions. Life is fast and furious. What should I buy this? Should I move? I mean, we've been doing this for so many years. Every kind of question. Of course, we always joke that in New York it's about real estate, not love.
Yeah.
But the thing with the tarot is it's designed to help you get through the day. That's how we think of it. A lot of people see it more as something ancient and mystical and, you know, Game of Thrones-y. But we see it as another tool that you have, just like your computer. And especially when you have I know it sounds like I'm promoting the book, but no one's ever in the history of the tarot done what we did. We took every card and interpreted it in every position, thereby giving you 6 different kinds of 1-card readings, 3 different kinds of 3-card readings, and, of course, it spells across itself.
Well, when you first come across the tarot, it can seem so daunting to memorize 78 cards and which system works. In Babylon it meant this, and Egypt it meant that. It can be too overwhelming. So we make it so you can start using it, playing with it, and using it with your friends or doing it in private right away. And as you play and as you use it, you get better and more familiar with the cards. And it's really fun, too.
That's it. It is fun.
Let's
right?
do this. Yeah, we've got, Benny, why don't we go ahead and skip the break right here, because we've opened up the phone lines for those of you out there, 1-800-930-2819. And by the way, we already have people calling in. Are we ready to take a caller, Monte, Amy?
I got my cards all warmed up here.
Yeah.
All right, good. Mr. Benny, let's bring on Phyllis.
Phyllis from Kirkland, welcome to the show.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for being there. I'm so excited to hear what you are teaching.
You got a question for us?
What's the question?
What's blocking me from reaching my goals?
Okay.
Interesting. I get the King of Swords. What do you get, Monte?
I got the strength. You're too strong.
Yes.
You're too good. What can I say? Well, and I could read it. I could read it from the book, but I can tell you that as with everything, you can be too much or too little of anything, and you can even be too strong, and you can either be, when you have strength, there's a picture of a woman with a lion. It could mean that you're allergic to pets. I mean, there's such a variety of.
I'll read you what the King of Swords means. It means what's blocking you is intellectualism or lack of it. Theories may fail when tested in practice. Intellectual development may be lacking or not valued enough. Diplomacy may also be a sore point. So you're asking about reaching your goal. What's blocking you? Yeah,
and of course, this is just one particular goal that you've asked about. And since this is like a barbershop, 2 barbers, no waiting, I got the strength card, which is the number 8 card in the tarot, and it works with any deck, any 78 card tarot deck. An imbalance between your carnal desires and your spiritual knowledge blocks progress. Do not deny that your inner dialogue has great influence over your outer reality. A brave heart goes on despite fear. Now, does what we're saying have any relevance to what you asked about?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
when you're talking about inner dialogue.
We can tell you what it means, but we want to show you that the book that anyone can read for themselves.
Yeah.
And get the message from the book too.
Now, if somebody came to me as a reader and they got the strength card, I might look in the book since I wrote it.
Good idea, right?
But it could literally mean that it can run the gamut from you come on too strong or you're not coming on strong enough. You sound like a strong person.
The tarot also works. I wanted to say, Dr. Pat, like peeling an onion. So you get an answer and you achieve some clarity, but you want to know more. So then you can expand on your question and ask again. How can I improve it? How can I? What next step can I take? And it's very therapeutic to do that.
Yeah, and
well, I would like to ask both of those questions.
Let's do it.
Yeah, what can I do to improve this? My whole life I've been afraid that I have been too much for other people. So
you mean too intense for them to handle?
Or too happy, too smart, too this or that or the other thing. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it blocks you from your goal. I think that your goal doesn't involve the people that can't handle you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think you got to shift the goalpost.
Oh.
Yeah, because those people are never going to get it.
All right.
Monte has a book called Quantum Affirmations, which is also published by Wiser Books, who publish Instant Tarot. And it's really helpful to help you manifest goals. And sometimes that happens where you shift and change or think you're focused on a goal, but there's so much more to it, actually, that you really want.
Yeah, and the hardest thing in quantum affirmations is if your goal involves people changing their minds besides you, because you can't get anybody to change. It's hard enough to change yourself.
Right. Wow. Okay.
What do you think of that?
I think that's just enough.
For now.
Well, let's put it that way. You can't be too strong for us. We like strong people.
Yeah.
So that's good. And we like people who are good with cats.
My golden. All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to hear what you tell other people.
Awesome. We have callers calling in, but I want to talk for a little bit before we jump back on the phones. There are things that people completely misunderstand when it comes to tarot, and we touched on a couple of them. But I want to talk about, for people just tuning in, I want to talk about how the tarot cards work, because some folks believe there's an absolutely quantum scientific process that's involved with them. But more importantly, anytime I've had a reading on just about anything, I'm always amazed at how very close to accurate it is, if not completely.
Yes.
But it's not something that I've been ever able to do on my own, right? I'm always much better working with others. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Well, since we're like the do-it-yourself metaphysical people, we do believe that you can do it for yourself, but it does require you relaxing and getting out of your own way and allowing your higher self to talk to you.
Sometimes we're so attached to what we think we want that it interferes. I mean, I know another thing the cards do is sometimes if you're obsessed with something, the cards get mad. There's such a mirror for what's going on, and sometimes you ask what you think you want to know, and the cards will cut through, and they know what's really on your mind. So really doing it for yourself, you're talking to your higher self, and you get to know yourself better, but it does require you to kind of let go a little bit of what we think we want, because every outcome isn't going to be the best card. I know I get disappointed sometimes when I'm asking and I pull a card. It's not the greatest card. But then that shows me about myself and why I feel that way and why it triggers that emotion.
And fear is the destroyer. When people do reading and they're afraid of the answer they're going to get, or they're unfortunately on some substance or drugs or prescription or not, or drink, that's going to color your reading. And if you ask the same question more than once a day, I think you're going to start getting some weird answers too. But the answers come from within you. The ancients used to say, if you know your question, you know your answer, because the process of evolving the question gets you closer to the answer, because the answers are in us. It's not in the little books, or paper or anything like that. We bring our whole being to the reading.
And sometimes we need a tool, and that's why we think of it as an exercise machine for your intuition. Looking at the pictures, the colors, the symbols. I mean, it really tunes you into the language of symbols and the language of archetypes that Carl Jung talks so much about. And we always refer to him because...
Yeah, law of synchronicity.
And he gives us legitimacy to it.
Yeah, but the thing is that a lot of people of faith who call themselves that, people of faith, don't realize that doing the tarot strengthens your faith, because you have to have faith that you're going to get an answer.
And faith in all the ins and outs and ups and downs. I mean, in the tarot, there are cards that represent fulfillment and cards that represent disappointment. And we know that all these different facets of life are real and to be embraced and to be experienced.
Yeah, and we get a lot of the nightmare insomnia card lately because people are having trouble sleeping. I guess it's like what you said at the beginning. A lot of people are worried and scared. They need to have faith that I happen to believe things are getting better in the world, that we just are unfortunately addicted to seeing too much bad news, and it comes right into you the second it happens, and it seems like that's what the world's about. But there's a lot of wonderful things going on in the world at the same time. They don't get the news. They don't get put on.
And also doing the tarot, it's like reading a newspaper about yourself.
Yeah.
Which everyone likes.
Okay. All right. So my question is, and let's do this when we come back.
Okay.
I was listening this morning to a show, and I was listening to a number of spiritual people chatting on the show, and that's how I start my day. Whether it's on the television as I'm getting ready or on the computer, I'm listening as my spiritual practice. And here is the question that comes up. They asked about the Big Bang, and they were talking about it and talking about the Big Bang and how universe was started. And one of the pastors, she is a very well-known pastor, said something like, well, I love the way she talks to her, said something like, well, we can kind of debate this whole thing about the Big Bang or God or this or that, but who created the Big Bang? And it's kind of like, why is this even a debate? Isn't that the kind of thing we're talking about here? It's what's to debate if it's all, my friend says, you know what, if it's all God, it's all good. And, another way to say that, if it's all spirit, it just is.
Yeah.
I agree. you can get lost in the how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. That kind of worry about, and scientists are so interested in what came first. But at the same time, you still have to know how to get from one side of the room to the other.
And how to get along with people and how to, stay positive. These are practical things that apply to everyone's life, but if you get too big, you get lost. We like little steps.
Right. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we have got some folks that are calling in to the show, 1-800-930-2819. Hey, everybody, get your question ready because we're taking it on. We'll be right back.
Do you ever feel as if you're working twice as hard but only getting half as far? Are you trying to connect with your path in life and finding it elusive? Mainstream Metaphysics Radio is a weekly call-in show where we harness our connection with the universe and use what is in our power to affect change for optimal success and happiness. This hit show bridges the divide between what is and what we do not know. Eve, named one of the country's top psychics, also known as the MBA Psychic, invites you on this journey for this live call-in show with readings, featured guests, leaders, and visionaries in both business and spiritual callings. So join Eve Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com as she takes metaphysics mainstream. For more information about Eve, visit EliteTarot.com. That's EliteTarot.com.
Awareness is universal. Establishing a living awareness through meditation brings peaceful, healthy, and creative well-being into your everyday life. The practice of living awareness, Spiritfire's own meditation practice, is built on this belief and is designed for every level of practitioner. Each year, Spiritfire hosts living awareness meditation retreats that allow you to explore the practice in depth at our retreat center in beautiful Western Massachusetts. Introduce yourself to meditation and the practice at the Foundation's retreat. Attend, in silence, a silent meditation retreat focused on mindfulness, presence, and nature, or be engaged with the meditation sittings themselves at the Deepening Retreat. Start adding to your awareness and attend a meditation retreat designed to cultivate consciousness in your everyday life. For details on attending a Living Awareness meditation retreat, visit upcoming events at www.spiritfire.com.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, Talk Radio to Thrive By. I am so thrilled to be talking to all of you. We have got Talk Radio for all of us. Are you ready and willing and able to accept all of the abundance you can muster up in your life? Check us out, thedrpatshow.com, transformationtalkradio.com, transformationradio.fm. Oh my goodness.
Be you plus live your purpose equals joy. That's the motto of Unstuck Joy with Vicki Todd. Vicki believes you were born with gifts that are meant to make the world brighter. Each show will feature an art visioning journal prompt to help you create your way to soul clarity. If you're ready to get unstuck and create more joy, this show is for you. Tune in every month on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit VickiWorldArt.com.
He knows dirty secrets that I keep. Does he know it's killing me? He knows, does he know? Now his hands have touched my skin. I won't tell him where
Oh, yeah. Monte Farber and Amy Zern are joining me here today. They are the authors of Instant Tarot, your complete guide to reading the cards. And for most of you out there, you know we do a regular weekly show on Tarot. Thanks to Eve. She is amazing. So she is cracking open the whole notion of what Tarot is. And today we have some folks that are writing about it so that those of us right here in the world today can take a look and say, oh, wait a minute. If that card is in my, let's just say, read, what does it mean, and how does it mean what it means in conjunction to the others? Well, I'm telling you, there's a lot of information broken down in this book in language that, yep, I can understand. Now that is a miracle for you guys out there.
Thank you so much.
I know. It's like, wait a minute. I read the book and I actually get it.
Yay.
That's our specialty.
Oh, man. How can people get a copy?
We love the tarot so much. I mean, we've done a few different books about it, and it's endlessly intriguing and fascinating and teaches us so much about life and about each other.
And so many people have a tarot deck in a drawer somewhere because they bought it and they're all excited, and then they try to learn it, and oh my God, it's so difficult.
Okay, so what were you? Yeah, you were like today, you were in my little sanctuary, so you saw me pulling out my decks, right? That was me you're talking about.
Yes, but I have the all-seeing eye. It sees everywhere.
You do.
I'm shuffling my deck.
Yeah.
But it's true. When we learned the tarot, not everybody is a good teacher. Let's put it that way. And not everybody is a good writer. And a lot of times people can only explain in the books that they write what they know. But that is not necessarily simple enough for the average person who doesn't know anything. And a lot of times what's going on is that the writer knows too much for a beginner. And what we've tried to do is make it so that there's information that is clear for a beginner, and yet at the same time there's some nuggets in there for experienced people that they'll go, wow, I never thought of it that way.
Yes, we really like to take ancient wisdom and make it applicable for the way life is now, which is so full of business questions, practical questions, love questions.
Texting questions.
Texting questions, fast and furious.
YouTube questions.
Oh, my gosh. Well, listen, let's do this. Before we jump ahead, we're going to go on the phones here. But before we do, what is the best way people can get a copy of the book? And also, how can they find out more about you?
Well, Instant Tarot is available on all. Please patronize your local bookstore, of course. It's Instant Tarot by Amy Zern and Monte Farber from Wiser Books, Red Wheel Wiser Canary.
Our website is www.theenchantedworld.com, and it has a lot. Right away, the Instant Tarot will come up, and you can read more about it, and it will take you to the various places that sell it.
Yeah, and if you're in a Barnes & Noble, we happen to be fortunate enough to have our own shelf in every Barnes & Noble. If you go into the spirituality section of any Barnes & Noble, the top shelf is all of our books or whatever's left.
Because we have books about astrology and books about other divination systems that we've devised, and we have books about love.
Yes, we have a book about the Red Wheel Wiser published. It's The Soulmate Path. It's our autobiography.
And we have a new cookbook out, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Stop us before we create again.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, we have an
Benny.
astrology cookbook. Believe it or not, an astrology cookbook called Signs and Seasons from HarperCollins.
No, I actually do believe that, because I actually think astrology does play a role in cooking. For example, I'm going to get off on a tangent now. For example, I'm a Sagittarius, but I have 4 planets in Sag, 4 planets in Sag and 4 in Capricorn, and 8 of those deals reside in 2 houses right at the top horizon next to each other, right? You know, Sag and Capricorn, right in the 2. That's like 8 of them going on. My moon is in Capricorn, right? So when I cook,
9th and 10th house?
Huh? Yeah, up at the top.
9th and 10th house.
Like in the, what do you call that top right quadrant up there?
That's the 9th house, and then the one to the left of the line is the 10th house.
The house of philosophy and the house of your career.
That's why you're famous.
That's pretty funny. But, I should only pay attention to my charts every once in a while. But here's what I want to say about that. When I cook, right, and I love to cook. When I cook and I invite people over, here's the way it turns out. I'm not the Sagittarius that will cook maybe the goat's ear because I think it's fun to do, right?
You're funny. Yes.
But I will look at something that is really out of the box, but consider my friends, right? So instead of making traditional pizza, I'll make my own version of pizza on my own baked Italian bread. That's what happens if you come to my house. But let's go to the phones. Let's try to go to the phones, because now I'm getting hungry here. Benny, who do we have?
And we have Ann calling in from Northern Virginia. Hello, Ann.
Ann, how are you?
Dr. Pat, how are you?
Oh, my God, Ann, you know what? You're in Northern Virginia. You just reminded me I was talking about food. So now I'm reminded of my aunt's peach cobbler. But let me introduce you to Monte and Amy. And
Hi,
what can we help you with today?
Okay, well, Dr. Pat, I cook for a living, so maybe you picked that up. Maybe you picked up on that. So anyway, Monte and Amy, hi, how are you? Nice to talk to you on the phone. I have your Monte. I converse with you on Facebook, but I do have the cookbook, and I love the cookbook. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
So I'm a Gemini, rising Cancer, and
happy birthday.
I turned 60. Excuse me.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Well, I turned on June 16th, so I turned 65, which I know is a milestone and Medicare and all that stuff. Even though I'm not crazy about that, but
is it really?
So I was wondering if there was anything in the tarot cards, because this is a big milestone, that might pop out that you might want to tell me about. I do cook for a living.
Well, I got a great answer for you.
I do too.
So you would read the number question that says that's position number 1, which is tell me what I need to know about. So you want to know what you. So you wanted to know what you need to know about your birthday, right? I got the star. What did you get, Amy?
I got the 6 of Hearts, which is joy and having fun and turning back to something that you used to love to do. It's sort of a nostalgic card.
Can I do something interesting? Do you think I'm going to be intruding? Do you think I'm going to intrude if I do this?
You're Italian. You can't be anything but. So
okay. Oh my God! There you go. Now the truth be told, so I got the book, and because I don't have the deck, I've been having some fun with Linda, and I've been saying okay, pick a page number in the book.
That's bibliomancy. Yes.
Okay, so is that a weird way to do tarot?
Like no, that's a traditional way to where you use a book for divination, and that works absolutely.
There are people that use the Bible for that every day. The star in the number 1 position says you need to be the star of your show, in quotations, and experience a time of joy, wonder, hope, and healing. Relax and reestablish your connection with your body and the illumination of spiritual realities. Dwell on the good.
And my message for you for your birthday says, allow yourself positive, nostalgic memories of childhood, friends, and family. If you can, spend time with younger people. That's a good way to celebrate.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a question.
Yeah.
Did you just pick the star for her on page 77 of the book?
Yes,
did you?
I did.
OMG. So does she get like a double star?
Yes.
That's what I got. I've got it open right here, and it says the star illumination.
For you.
Well,
that's joy, hope, healing.
Yes.
Wow.
Beauty, art.
And that's a great answer.
Nice. It's a wonderful time for you.
So it's saying that your 65th birthday is a time to feel like a star, and that it's a time of renewal and healing and hope.
And can I read this to you from the book? Can I just read this?
Go ahead.
Okay, because you asking about the birthday. And it says, what is before you? I love this book, by the way, Anne. It says, you will soon know the benefits and necessity of relaxation, healing, and rejuvenation. You may experience, are you ready? Wait for it, divine grace and spiritual illumination. Enjoy being the star of your show. Know you need and deserve a time for healing after the storm. I love this book.
Thank you.
I want her reading.
Yeah, we want that reading. Can you rent it out to
us? Okay, so
now I need to buy that book. Thank you so much.
I can be Anne. Anne, what are you cooking today? Just curious.
Actually, I'm making meatballs because I have to deliver them to someone.
I knew it. I knew
You're breaking my heart here.
I heard that's the new food trend, instead of nouvelle cuisine, that people are going back to hearty Italian, rustic cooking, meatballs and spaghetti.
There's a place in Sag Harbor out here that's what it's called. It's like a meatball store.
Yeah, and
I know.
What else?
I thought about that. It's a lot of work.
Someone's doing it. Keep doing it. It's a good idea.
But Ann, you know what the deal is with what you're saying? We're not talking, like what is the word now? A contemporary Italian. We're talking old school.
Yeah.
Make the meat sauce. Put the sausage in. Don't use part skim cheese. That's not even like a thing, is it?
No.
I love you, Ann. I love you.
No. And we're all from the Northeast, aren't we? Because I'm from New York. You're from New Jersey. And Monte and Amy, aren't you from New York or no?
And if you make anything from our cookbook, please send pictures so I can post it.
Oh,
that sounds good. I will do that. Thank you very much, Amy. I will do that. Because I was thinking of actually hosting sign parties, like a Capricorn party and a
great idea.
Gemini party. And serve the foods in your cookbook. So that would be something neat that people
And everyone can read their little
enjoy.
message also, right? About their signs.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Definitely.
Ann, you need to, do a show on the network with that. That is amazing.
Well,
that is.
She is a star after all.
That's true.
I am a star after all.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the reading. I
send me a
appreciate it.
picture. Send me a picture of the meatball so I can put it on our website and on our social media, okay?
What did you say?
Time we live in.
Send me a picture of the meatballs so I can put them on social media on the Dr. Pat Show.
Oh, that's a good idea. All right.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one. Wow. I'm like, I cannot. What? Okay. So let me ask you.
That's pretty
Monte,
amazing that we both got the same page.
I was going to ask you, how does that happen? We're going to skip the breaks. The phone lines are at 1-800-930-2819. You know what I love about this? 4 of us on the call. We're all from the East Coast. We're all talking over each other. It's like a producer's nightmare.
Poor Benny.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. I have a question.
Sorry.
I have a question.
I was just going to say, sometimes when you're doing meetings for more than one person in a group, the same cards will start coming up, like what you just got with Monte, the star card. And I think there's a group lesson lots of times that we all have to learn from that message.
Okay, tell me what it is, because I'm still in a little bit of awe about it.
Well, I think it's magic.
It's one of those unexplained mysteries that we have to accept.
It's a true example of synchronicity, that when people focus on something with sincerity and love, that magic can happen.
And that there's a reason why we're all together at this moment, to learn something about, for instance, the star and how to feel like a star. And you're the star of your show, and Anne's the star of her show, and we're the stars of our show. And that's an empower. And it's also to recognize what healing has happened in our lives and how to be more hopeful, which also goes back to what we were talking about, being bombarded with negative news, and how to remain hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see magical things happen like that, it reminds you that there is, magic is afoot. That this is a wonderful world that we live in. Yes, there's bad things, but there's a lot of good things too. Unfortunately, the squeaky wheels get the grease. But there's a lot of great stuff going on.
I can't believe you just said that. I can't even believe you just said that. Did you really just say the squeaky wheel gets the grease?
Well, it's true.
Why did you just say that?
Oh, my gosh. Linda found a shiny penny after she bought the lottery ticket, and that's her mother, Joan.
Aww.
And Joan, who's always with us, of course, but has gone on to the Irish heaven in the sky. And Joan was always full of that. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. That one, her mother, my mother, they must be talking. But here's what I want to ask you. This is very deep now. Right now, today, there are a series of kind of interesting and amazing things showing up for us here at the network and me in my life. We have on the forefront 2 crowdfunding initiatives we're putting together. One is to create a video game to raise the level of awareness for Lyme disease It is literally called Exploding Ticks. So we're getting ready to do that.
What a great idea.
Oh, my God.
I know.
It'll be a big popular thing out here. There's a lot of problem with that out here.
But we're not really, I got to tell you, it's a scary disease, and we need to come at it with a little bit different way. The second thing is we're creating a community of positive talk to raise funds to speed up our technology to launch our 10 networks. That's called a positive media mojo. So we've got all these money things happening. Plus, I'm part of a separate project that I can't mention that is about 3 days close to being fully funded, millions of dollars. Plus, there is something else going on with a friend of mine who is raising enormous. What's going on with all the money stuff showing up here? I got
such good cards for you.
Well, it's because you deserve it. And it's like George Benson said. He was an overnight success after 26 years. It's not an accident that you're experiencing success. You're the right person, the right idea at the right time.
For your fundraising, the Mojo fundraiser, I got the World.
That's the best.
Which is like graduation, going to the next level. It can be international. I mean, you can reach internationally. That's one of the wonderful things that's going on now.
Yes.
And for your friend, that was the last thing you mentioned. Is it a guy?
No, it is a woman. It is a woman. But she and I, honestly, to be honest with you, we both have more masculine than feminine energy. I'm just saying.
The King of Hearts. He's a gentle king, but it's also very creative. So it must be a very creative project.
Off the charts.
Congratulations.
And totally. So here's what happens, and I want to talk about this in the few minutes we have left. The whole project thing that's happening for us, and you are right on about the positive media mojo. There's nothing like it, nor is there anything like the network we're about to launch with 10 unique positive channels. And our technology, it comes from 20-year-olds and 70-year-olds getting together and saying, what does the world need? But here's the question I want to ask you. So often we doubt ourselves, like when you said to me, you deserve it. Tear just came to my eyes. How do we embrace the messages that we get from the cards? And then we do have another caller. So how do we embrace this so not to dilute it?
Well, the thing is that we are not taught to love ourselves. And if we can just remember how we feel about our pets, I know that seems trite, but if you know the way you'll do anything for your pet, I mean, I like to think that the universe looks at me like the way I look at my pet. I do anything for him. I just love him so. And if the universe loves us, we can love ourselves a little bit more.
I also get this message from the cards about what you just asked, and I got the Princess of Swords. So I think sometimes in the moment we'll have that emotional reaction that you just had. But if we write it down, if we keep a record, if we contemplate it and step away and then come back, we'll understand it better, and to read and reread. That's why having the Instant Tarot book is powerful, or having a way to review it. And because, lots of times we have to understand why we had that reaction, that we don't deserve it.
And plus there's a little bit of PSTD there, because to get to where you are now, you had to armor yourself.
Oh, boy.
And when you get to where you are and you've accomplished your goal, there's a different mindset required, because you're no longer on the striving team. It's like you're on a special team now. You're on the winning team. You're on the team that comes in when the goal has been reached and you come in to kick.
You're recalibrating.
Yeah, you're on a special team.
I'm on the Wonder Woman team. I'm on the Wonder Woman. We're going to the Wonder Woman movie. It's going to be the best female superhero movie, they say, of the decade. I'm on her team.
That's how I feel about Amy. She's my superhero. She's wonderful.
I'm on Amy's team too. Let's go to the phones. I think we have time for April from Dayton, Ohio. April.
Hi, Pat.
April.
Thanks for taking my call. Hi, guys. I've been enjoying the show and all the synchronicities and all the beautiful messages.
Well, we got something for you, too.
Synchronicities I ever saw.
I know. April, how can we help you today?
Well, I am going through some big changes right now that I guess I chose to make changes. I choose to follow my heart, and I left a relationship, and I started putting myself forward as a dream interpreter and charging for those services. However, I'm falling more and more into debt. Things aren't taking off yet. So I was just wondering what the cards have to say. I'm a little concerned that, I know this is my life purpose, but I'm a little concerned that it's premature. I don't know. So I just wondered what the cards had to give me.
About your project?
Yeah, about
your
being
project?
a spiritual, about being a spiritual leader, teacher. Yeah, about the project, about the work, I guess.
Right. Okay. Because you're putting your investment into yourself. That's what's happening. So you're not really.
Well, it also
so the
ties
whole
in with what we were just talking about. To see if you can own your power. And I got the sun, which is the happiest, best, shining, radiant card in the deck.
It's actually the cover of this book.
Wow,
so
it is.
I think you're ready, and I feel really good about it.
Wow.
Good.
Shine your light.
I'm a Leo, too.
You're a Leo, too? So,
there you go.
Listen, I got a question for you because I know we got about 3 minutes left. How can you invite the sun to shine, to brighten up the darkness that comes when we think about the word debt rather than investment? Amy, you hear what I'm saying?
Yes. So it's like to switch gears a little bit, but the sun is so happy and smiley and radiant. To pull that into your heart and to feel that light and to expand it and to surround yourself. Some affirmations involved. Our book, The Enchanted Tarot, we have the little rituals and affirmations for every card, and you can reinforce it by drinking a little orange juice and water and wearing gold jewelry and things that symbolize and empower, feeling a little more royal, a little more deserving, a little more happy.
And also, the thing that makes you a great teacher makes you sensitive. The card that I picked up on was the Princess of Hearts, so that means, which is the Page of Cups in most decks. You need to concentrate on the communication of tender feelings, hunches, and dreams. You are pregnant with romantic ideas and idealized fantasies, balance logic and intuition, and you will see them bloom in your life. And so what you have to do is remember that the sun, which Amy got, is endless. The energy, it burns 5,000 tons of hydrogen a second. So it's just that you have this boundless energy and support that comes to you from the universe. There's no end to it.
And also, we're always talking about love and bandying that about, but, the sun card is really about love and happiness and to shine love on those you care about and also on yourself.
Okay, you've got your mission if you choose to accept it here.
Mission impossible.
You might want to launch during Leo time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Leo time.
Maybe that'll be a time of expansion.
Well, Leo isn't it? And then Leo and Sagittarius, they get along really well because they laugh. You know what we do? We get slap happy all the way to the bank. That's what we do. We are slap happy all the way to the bank, and our friends look at us and they're saying, that's got to be a Leo and a Sagittarius, those two.
You're on fire.
And if you're anything like our cat, who's an Aries, but he's the ultimate Leo.
He's a Sag rising.
He's a Sag rising. He likes to have the food brought to him. That's the way the male cats are. The hunt is driven to them, and then they do the killing, and then they do the eating. So a lot of things can come to you. You don't have to do all the work. The universe can do some work and bring stuff to you.
I love it. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for joining us here today. Amy, listen, Monte website, theenchantedworld.net or .com. Does that work?
Either one. We have them both.
And then we both have our individual websites. Mine is about my artwork and my clothing and my jewelry, and Monte's is about his psychic work, and he does readings that you can book.
You both have to come back when we can talk about your individual work, okay?
That'll be great.
All
We're
right.
sending you a cookbook.
All right, thank you. Hey, everybody, we're going to take a short break. We got more to come. Stay tuned.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against brought me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head and a trouble that can be.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.